public health aside.
Okay. Call to order the Berlin Township regular meeting for November 24th, 2025. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please call roll.
Trustee Rail?
Here.
Trustee Bullard?
Here.
Trustee Paycock?
Here.
Thank you. That brings us to public comment. If anybody would like to make public comment, please come to the lectern, state your name, your address, and you will have 4 minutes for public comment this evening. That being said, is there any public comment? Okay, we are closing out public comment this evening. Next is the approval of minutes. Move to approve the November 10th, 2025 regular meeting minutes and dispense with the reading. Seconded. Moved by the chair, seconded by Trustee Paycock. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just got a question. It says page 7 of 9.
On the meeting
Was there
minutes?
2 pages missing?
Fiscal
Or
Officer Kraft.
is that just
What was that?
the last page says 7 of 9. Each one says something.
For the
of
meeting
9.
minutes?
Oh, did it not correctly?
Maybe.
I have 5 of 7. Are those requisitions? Those might be requisitions.
No, that's,
Oh.
No, it's not the minutes.
It says 7 of 9.
The journal,
Oh.
the journal of actions.
Oh. Yeah, I printed mine off just a few minutes ago, so.
Okay, so I see it says, it goes through 7 and 9.
just want to make sure.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
I'll have to look at that. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. So we'll fix
Just
that little formula.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the one that you sent had that or not, but just make certain that that's corrected.
Yeah,
I got that friendly addition. Any further discussion?
Thanks, Ron.
Please call roll.
Trustee Rail?
Yes.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes.
Trustee Paycock?
Okay, that brings us to fire requisitions.
Good evening. Just have a couple requisitions this evening. The first one will be for the ESO Wave Conference number 2025-087. This takes place in Austin, Texas in April. ESO is our records management software, and we're going to send one. We'd like to send one member to that conference. It'll be 4 days of training for records management software to enhance our use of that software.
Move to approve requisition 2025-087 in the amount of $999 for purposes of fire training.
Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by Trustee Bullard. Discussion. Please call roll.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes.
Trustee Paycock?
Yes.
Trustee Rail?
Yes.
The second one will be 2025-088 Verizon Wireless for the purchase of 2 iPads. We do need additional iPads for the new Durango that we placed in service, and that connects us to the dispatch center through our CAD. And the other will be used by the fire inspector to conduct fire inspections and pre-plans on site with our ESO software. Total is $799.98.
Move to approve requisition 2025-088 in the amount of $799.98 for the purposes of iPads for fire inspection and fire vehicle.
Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by Trustee Bullard. Discussion. I think it would be good for a zoning inspector to have an iPad too when we get to that point.
Okay.
For out in the field inspections. Maybe it's too. The further discussion. Please call roll.
Trustee Paycock?
Yes.
Trustee Rail?
Yes.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes.
The last one I have will be 2025-089 in the amount of $2,580 to Delaware County for the purchase of 3 new Dell Pro Micro Plus computers. This will be basically replacing 3 of our current computers as recommended by the IT department.
Move to approve 2025-089 requisition in the amount of $2,580 for the purposes of laptop replacement at the recommendation of Delaware County IT.
Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by Trustee Bullard. Discussion. Please call roll.
Trustee Rail?
Yes.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes.
Trustee Paycock?
Yes. What'll happen with the old ones?
No, we'll have to go once.
IT will have to wipe them, and then we can do whatever we need to do with them. Probably declare them as surplus and gov deals or whatever, but IT will have to wipe them. The current ones that are being replaced are, desktop computers actually, so they're not laptop.
I'll making sure that they come to you and you take care of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You would move from using just desktops to laptops or?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Further discussion? Please call roll.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes,
Trustee Paycock?
Yes.
Trustee Rail?
Yes.
The last two items I have are hiring resolutions for 2 part-time firefighters. One being, Quinn, let me find his name in here. Should have wrote him down first. Where is it? Where is it? Quentin Burke, there it is. And then the second one being Gavin Kafka. Both part-time firefighters, the compensation rate for both of them would be $16.10 per hour to start. Pending, they can finish the completion of the hiring process, which will include a medical physical.
So there's no estimated time of start?
Once they complete their physical and I get the results, then we'll start probably mid-December-ish,
Okay.
we'll say.
What resolution are we at, 01?
10 and 11, right?
We're at 11.
Or 11?
we're
And you
11.
said their names.
They're in the resolution, like, it's the first bolded paragraph after 1.
Yeah, it's under authorization, right underneath
Got it,
authorization.
thank you.
Yeah, I had trouble finding it too.
And
Should
we're
have
at-
bolded their name.
And we're at resolution 11, so
We are.
11 and 12. 11 and 12, is that right, Lisa?
Yep.
Okay.
Move to approve requisition number 2025-11, resolution authorizing the hiring of part-time firefighter for the Berlin Township Fire Department, with Quentin Burke being approved at the rate of $16.10 per hour on the condition of passing the necessary tests.
second,
Moved by the chair, seconded by trustee Bullard. Discussion. Please call roll.
Trustee Paycock?
Yes.
Trustee Rail?
Yes.
Trustee Bullard?
yes,
Move to approve resolution number 2025-12, a resolution authorizing the hiring of part-time firefighter for Berlin Township Fire Department, and approve the hiring of Gavin Kafka in the amount of $16.10 per hour, with an anticipated start date on the condition of passing the necessary tests.
second,
Moved by the chair, seconded by trustee Bullard. Discussion. Please call roll.
Trustee Rail?
Yes.
Trustee Bullard?
yes,
Trustee Paycock?
Yes. We will be probably conducting another hiring process because we did not get enough qualified applicants in the last one, so we had plenty of applicants, but they didn't pass the test or the physical abilities test. So we'll be doing another hiring process. We have 3 more openings in the part-time ranks right now, so we'll be looking for 3 more.
Great.
And then if you don't have anything for me, that's all I have this evening.
I do have one thing. I wondered if you guys separated out all of the amount you guys have spent in the year 2025 on training.
I can do that.
Could you possibly do it for 2024 as well? I think it would tell a pretty good story because I think we've increased the
Absolutely.
investment in training.
Yeah, especially since I got here.
Yes. So if you are able to get 2024 numbers, I think that would contrast
Absolutely.
nice, and I'd like to ensure that we are, we have been very supportive of training, of course, but I want to get some numbers and some metrics behind
Sure,
that.
I can put some stuff together for you.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else for fire? Okay, moving on to roads.
All I have is just one, then now we have door opener break and had to get replaced. It's to the door guys for 170565.
Oh, actually, the name is the door guys.
Yes.
Okay. I was going to ask you what the name was. I move to approve requisition R11-03 in the amount of $1705.65 to the door guys for the fixing of a new door opener for Bay 1.
second,
Moved by the chair, seconded by trustee Bullard. Discussion. Please call roll.
Trustee Bullard?
yes,
Trustee Paycock? Trustee Rail?
Yes.
And that is all I have.
we got the final bill on the RIP and,
Oh,
please, that's in.
the final bill for the RIP is in? And did it include the Dale Ford solution we had discussed?
No, that will be on 2026, so this was 2025's, everything we did for this.
Oh, okay.
So the
Thank you.
estimate will go in, I'm meeting with you next week, the estimate, and then we should have numbers January, February for us to either approve or disapprove for the 2026 season.
Excellent, thank you. And it seems like we're in pretty good shape, as I recall, with salt. And
We're as full
We're
as
ready.
we can be.
as full as we can be, so we're prepared for the winter weather that's anticipated to come in here in the next couple weeks. Not coming.
Oh, it's kind of nice.
All right.
Yes, everything, the trucks are all ready, everything's, piles are on, everything's ready to go, we're just waiting on Mother Nature.
Great job on preparations, and I think, I was out in the neighborhoods over the last couple months, and one of the major things that folks said about our area is that we always clear the roads really nicely. So I think that plus our explanation of how we prioritize the snow plowing that you came up with last year with Administrator Hale, as well as our mailbox replacement policy, we're set. So great work, guys. Anything else for roads? Anything else for roads, gentlemen? Okay. Thank you, Director Beadham. Fiscal officer items.
All right, let's start with the payment list. That should be right in front of most of you. The first two pages are warrant or checks, and the biggies were a legal bill for $20,000 and change, and this doesn't include a lot of. Brian Potter, yes.
Who's that?
Alpha.
Oh, Ludlam.
Oh, Lon, I'm sorry, legal's right underneath that, $93.50, Albers and Albers. Thank you. Albers and Albers is right under that.
Yes, and that was back pay for a couple of months because it was not going to, it was going to me, and I didn't realize it was not going to everyone. Should have.
Yep, so those are big checks, and then ACH statements are the third page there, and just, you'll have deferred comp, and for the last two payrolls, and then, for the payroll that I just did, so. You'll have deferred comp that you'll see. We did, for those of you that are aware of the problem that happened with deferred comp, where it has been mispaid for the last year. They did refund us. We got a refund check today. We're just working through just to confirm the amount back and forth, but it's in the neighborhood of $5,000 that we sent a deferred comp that we never took from employees. So we met with all the employees. Chief and I did that last week and explained what happened, and explained that we're not taking the money from them. It's just they didn't contribute as much as they thought they did.
Yeah.
So Ohio deferred comp will fix their reports.
Okay.
So good.
Thank you for
Yeah. And we'll pass those down. Next are credit cards. So for fire, we had a total balance last month of $22,2892. Most of that was supplies, followed by fuel for Chief and Conley and Majors. Admin costs, most of it was office supplies, some printing, some purchase services. Purchase services, which one was that?
That was Microsoft.
Was it Microsoft or
Yeah.
okay for the licenses?
Yeah.
Okay. Zoning, postage, and advertisements for a total of $754.59. Roads ads for total was $1,221.16. The bulk of that was ads for road laborers, and followed by fuel and supplies. And then cemetery, they had to do a rental with Ohio CAC, and that's the $261.25 on the credit card. For $54.45 in credit card expenses.
Great. For ads, what are we spending ads on for zoning, since we typically do the website?
It's Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, the job advertising.
Yeah.
The director and the inspector. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's yeah. I was like, I thought our ads were free now.
They are.
Okay, great. A different type of ads.
Yes.
Good. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Be nice to get those those positions filled too.
And then the last thing I have is, for you have the job description for the Human Resources and Fiscal Coordinator. So, I put my thoughts down on paper. Aubrey supplemented that with hers, as well as the information she got from, was it OTA? You got information from,
As far as salaries, looking at comps, but looking around at other entities that have a similar position.
So what we're looking for, like, for example, today, when I should have been doing payroll because of the holiday coming up, I spent most of my day doing unemployment claims and workers' comp claims. That is not my lane. I'm gonna be honest, it is not my lane. So, that is, something that this position would do, as well as, payroll, as well as all the HR stuff that comes up from day to day. So, hopefully the job description is self-explanatory, but like to get your feedback, and thoughts on that.
I will note there is one highlighted piece, and upon legal advice after the packet had already been sent to you, Dave is advising that we take out the non-exempt for right now for the board to approve it, because he needs to do a little bit of research on whether it would be exempt or not. He has some question in his mind as to where that position would fall.
Okay.
Interesting. I would definitely think it would be non-exempt as coordinator level.
Yeah, he said that he would need to look into it further.
Okay. I haven't had the occasion to review it, so I'd like to do that. Was there, and I agree that this is a gap. I believe one of the initial concerns was ensuring that we understood where we were at with the budget, and considering the possibility of doing a part-time versus a full-time out of the gate for the position based on what availability of funds we had, right? I think we had discussed that previously. So I guess I'd like to hear both Administrator Hale and Fiscal Officer Kraft's opinion on, do we have the monies for this to support it? Should we start part-time and see if we can grow it into a full-time position? Or what is your guys' recommendation?
Yeah, great question. Do we have the funds? Yes. Hopefully you'll have the budget in front of you at the next meeting for us to have that discussion, and hoping to meet with you individually, like at our December 4th meeting, and kind of walk through what we're putting together. Do we have the money? Yes. This is a position that I strongly feel will pay for itself, just in better management of, for example, outsourcing our health insurance. I don't know, we're after tax, I'm not sure what the reason, there's all kinds of stuff that, I don't know about benefits and stuff, that there's somebody out there that has the expertise that should be able to save us money, or not make the increases big by doing a better job than I would, I'm gonna call it. Benefits are my bandwidth, I'm a financial person. So having that assistance with that, the stuff with like deferred comp, the stuff with, handling employee issues before they escalate and turn into something else, a grievance or whatever it is. I strongly feel that this is a full-time position, and it will, if not pay for itself, come close to paying for itself over the course of the year. And either avoiding errors or in de-escalating situations internally.
The fiscal officer and I have discussed this. Do we, currently where I think we stand with the budget is, do we have the money to add all of the positions? No, but if I had a choice between this position and the township operations specialist that's already been approved, I will take this position, because this is where we're struggling at the moment, whereas the township operations specialist does expand capacity, but this is more important.
Because what we're seeing is I'm getting bogged down in this stuff, so I can't do my fiscal job. I'm sure you're getting bogged down in this stuff and not able to do your administrator job. So having a resource that just handles it, and knowing it's getting handled.
Well, and there's a lot of items that we've deferred. Like, for example, we did a complete employee handbook overhaul in 2022. We haven't been able, we have this list of 50 things that really should be being updated every year. and we aren't doing it, you know, because we get around to it when the list gets long enough, and we got policy 1 over here and policy 2 over there, and you know, to have somebody that's an aggregator of that, of the files, of the digitization of these kinds of things, I definitely they would need to have the benefits and payroll expertise. I do think, based on your recommendation, Administrator Hale, if we were to go with a full-time route out of the gate, that we should put on hold the township operations specialist. What do you gentlemen think about that?
No, I think that would be, it would probably have to go that way at the moment, from what I'm hearing. But I would agree with that 100%. The other thing, looking at this one, have you ever had a third party that did any of this work?
No, we talked about that. Did you guys have the chance to check it
Yeah.
out?
I've not had a good experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Neither
Orange
one of you?
Township went to legal with their outsourced HR, so it escalated badly, so.
Okay.
So and my concern is, because there's so much stuff that is specific to both government and to, you know, our labor agreements and things like that, I think, I think it'd be a lot more expensive to get through all that stuff, to get them up to speed, and, you know, that's just my 2 cents, so.
What do you think? What do you think?
Like to get her on board, get him on board.
Okay.
That's my call.
Okay,
The
so
quicker the better.
it sounds like is the request to approve the position tonight and put on hold the township operations specialist? Is that the request for tonight, or is there a request for tonight?
I would like to see this added sooner rather than later, and the township operations specialist search has not commenced, so I'm okay with, I mean, I don't know that that requires board action, because we're not currently actively recruiting for that.
Yeah, but we declared it vacant, and
And it can still be vacant until, at which time the board decides to post the position.
yeah, I hear what you're saying. I would like the motion though to still memorialize the putting on hold in the same motion of opening it, so that there's at least a memorialization of the fact that we're going this route instead of that route for now. So I'll put it in the motion if that's okay with you guys. Salary range?
Looking at this position, realistically, what we need from an HR perspective is somebody who can manage things as they arise. So we're not looking at an entry-level person. We're looking with somebody with a little bit of experience. I anticipate landing somewhere in the 65 to 80 range, which is comparable with where Delaware County is paying this similar position.
Delaware County is a lot bigger, a lot more heavy lift, I think, right?
You're gonna get what you pay for, which is, if we go really low, then we're going to get somebody with not a lot of experience, and it's all of these issues are gonna end up back in our laps.
I'm comfortable with the 65 range. If that's the low end for now, we can just open it up, and then if we get a rock star, that's worth it. If we get a rock star, that's worth it. But
What was your money approved for the other position?
The operations specialist was 55, but the intent of that position was different. That was an entry level, was the intent that it could be somebody who may have a little bit of experience, somebody that potentially has no experience, who could be trained, so somebody right out of college. But this position and what my expectation, I think the fiscal officer's expectation of what they can do, they need experience. And if it's gonna cost if we want somebody with experience.
I defer this to Aubrey, but the thing is, we've got to put our position in place. Okay, we don't have a HR position at this point, so we've got to build from ground zero. So we need someone with some experience as to how to put that together. I'll defer that to Aubrey.
I would agree with what he seems things here that probably should. With HR person, they came to us.
Move to approve, the Human Resources and Fiscal Coordinator position for the range of, 65, did you say 65 to 80?
Yes.
And declare the position vacant at this time.
Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by trustee Buller, discussion. So, let's finalize with this little highlighted piece and get the final draft of the job description.
The only question I've got is, do you need anything from us as far as, money for advertising or anything to make all this happen?
If we wish to put it on Indeed, we can go either route. We can put it on Indeed, we can try with the local site's website. I can ask some of my colleagues to share it around and see if we can recruit that way first.
What I was wanting to do was what you want to do, but if you need something from us to be able to do what you want to do, that was what I was trying to see what we need to do.
I like your idea of seeing what you can do locally first.
Okay.
And then if you want Indeed.
I can revisit on December 8th if we need additional funding for advertisement, then I'll bring that back to the board. But we'll go ahead and get this posted. The only thing that we need finalized is just that piece, and he recommended not even listing it in the job description. That's something that he can determine without it being listed here.
Okay. Great, and let's extract it. Further discussion? Please call roll.
Trustee Paycock?
Yes.
Trustee Rail?
Yes.
Trustee Buller?
Yes.
That's all I got. Thank you guys for consideration of that.
Yeah, no problem. And I note in the motion, I didn't place the other position on hold, but, we will be recording that. Okay, next item.
This item,
Administrator, background check, vendor agreement.
yes, at the strong recommendation of our legal counsel, we need to be doing background checks for all employees, not just for the fire department. And so they, in checking with my colleagues, this vendor came recommended. I have had a conversation with the owner, and this would be the application that we would need to fill out. It has already gone through legal review. We would not be supplying anything like our social security numbers. They're primarily just looking for us to fill out the first page and making sure that they have information for us as far as billing goes. But this would be setting up, it's $85 per employee. So we would also need to appropriate a little bit of funding, knowing that we've got a couple of vacant positions that we likely will be doing it for. It would be the standard FBI, PCI background check that is provided.
Okay, so you need appropriation of fund approval for print check, to run background checks on
Candidates?
all full-time,
Yes.
not part-time.
Actually, part-time, we do part-time for fire, so I think anybody who's being brought on board as an employee with the
Paid
exception
employee.
with the exception of BZA, BZC, anything that's not a board. So
Parks, Trails, BZA, BZC, Architectural Review Board, no.
I have not seen that done previously. If anyone else is aware, that's the wish
No,
of
I
the
haven't.
board, but we can go with full-time, part-time township staff.
Full-time, part-time township staff.
Unfortunately, the way zoning is done right now, though, they're considered part-time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that I'm gonna be proposing that we change.
So we'll
Just
say
so you know it's
staff or non-board or committee members. An appropriation of $500.
Yeah, that would be enough to get us to the end of the year.
Okay, move to appropriate $500 to print check for the purposes of background check processing for all Berlin Township part-time, full-time staff who are not board or committee members.
Okay.
Moved by the chair, seconded by trustee Buller. Discussion. Please call roll.
Trustee Rail?
Yes.
Trustee Buller?
Yes.
Trustee Paycock?
Okay. This brings us to zoning department. We have a hearing tonight, so we'll move forward with that. Trustee items. Brings us to JED board agreements, JED board appointments.
Yes. So
Does anybody have Who am I referencing you?
You saw my communication from our legal counsel. We answered the question, but it's the wish of the board tonight.
What she's referencing is the legal counsel did not say there was a conflict of interest for both Lori and Rick Carr to serve on the JED board. Did you have a chance to speak with him?
I did talk to Rick, and he was fine with having his name as a member.
Okay.
And he is trying to get Bill Bishop to be the other member, but he's waiting on a legal opinion.
Yeah, because he's a member of DCFA.
Yeah.
Which technically isn't part of this JED,
Correct.
but it's a part of our other JEDs.
That's correct.
Okay.
So they wanted to see if it was a conflict, so that was just a proposed name.
Yep. He would be great. He'd be a great member. It's just.
If the board desires, it is possible. I talked to John, and he agreed that this can wait until December 8th if it needs to, because there's not currently a lot of movement. So.
Okay. Are you guys okay with that?
Great.
That way we can just have the names and bring it all forward and keep it all set. And then is Rick gonna follow up with you when he hears back
Yes.
of the Bill Bishop?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
And just throw it out there tonight and see if he responded, and he has not responded.
Okay, great. All right, I mean, we're making progress each time, so that's good. Set organizational meeting date.
So Trustee Bullard pointed out that we need to do so after January, that it was put in the organizational meeting.
That's December
minutes.
22nd.
But that it would need to be after January 1st.
It doesn't have to be after January 1st.
Don isn't a trustee until January 1st.
Yes, but we can do the organizational meeting without him being on the board technically. And we have,
I would like for him to be involved in it,
yeah,
so that he knows what's
I would
going on.
as well. So the question, so every year we set the organizational meeting date at the prior organizational meeting. So the meeting minutes always reflect that. My issue is I do want you involved, but the date has been set for a year and it's been published to the public as that.
Mhm.
So I feel like we would want to be early and often communicating if that were to change. I don't like those changes happening after we have the date set. We did the same thing we did have to do the same thing with Touch a Truck. Yeah, this year.
If it's an organizational meeting and Don's not a sitting trustee, how many things can you not have in the organization?
You can do anything.
Everything?
Yeah.
You give me the vote
And then, Don, you just step into that role. So an organizational, you'd put me where Don would take over? Or does he, I mean, how do you put him in if it's not the first of the year?
He wouldn't be a voting member, but we would just integrate his feedback on the organizational meeting. It's all written out. So any input, for example, like I had provided input before I was a sitting member on what the liaison role would look like. So we could get that input from you for what you would want in the organizational meeting. And then if we didn't want to do that, I wouldn't see why we wouldn't, but if we didn't want to do that, we just wouldn't have to vote on that. And you wouldn't necessarily be the person that would be voting in advocacy for that position. The alternative is that we make it. So here's the issue. It would have to be done on January 1st. I do not want to have one day go by where we do not have the organizational structure in place. So if you don't want to do it on the 1st, which I believe is a
Thursday or Friday?
Thursday or Friday.
I believe.
We always sit at the first meeting in January at Orange.
I know, and I don't like that because it runs a lot of our organizational meeting resolutions run out as of December 31st in our, like our social media policy, for example. It only runs, the liaisons only run through December 31st. So as of December 31st, I would want to have the organizational structure in place, or
Well, maybe some of that stuff shouldn't be in the org meeting, it would be better someplace like in, you know, the policy well, the liaison's not, but the other example would be better served probably in the policy manual, right?
well, but we like to do our policy reviews at the same time as those or organizational reviews.
It's a lot more meeting.
And we'd like to do our handbook updates at the same time as well. Yeah, but it's a good way to start the year off fresh and be consistent with all the things that we need to make
I
certain.
got Christmas cookies to make.
So the old organization stays in place until we modify it, except for the things that we dead-ended at the end of the year.
Which is a lot of things we did at the end of the year.
We dead-ended at the end of the year, which would be the 31st, which is Wednesday. First is Thursday.
I mean, I
Second
can
is
do the
Friday.
first.
I'm okay with the second on Friday doing it, but most of the.
Can you do the
organizations
first?
stay there. Pardon?
Could you do the first?
Not the first.
You are not available on the first.
I don't think first is a good time to do it.
I don't think the second's a good time to do it.
Yeah.
I think that what we're doing is cutting the public out of it if we do it on the first. Because I think the public would not come.
Well, a lot of the public have off on the first, but have to go in on the second. Okay. What do we think is the will of the board? So we have the second. I'm open to the first or the 22nd, and then what are you open to?
I just believe it, I think that you could go a few days, but, I think it would be cleaner if the new city, the new city would be here at the organizational meeting.
Okay, so could recommend the second, you could support the second?
Well,
Well, he wouldn't be here.
I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, but he's voting on it now to change
Oh, I
the meeting, so I'm asking if I'm being outvoted, which is fine if I am.
Yeah, I believe that you could go a couple more days. I don't know what the problem, because a lot of times we didn't have it until the first meeting was our organizational meeting.
That's ours.
Yeah.
Well, no tragic thing happens on the first.
Well, organizational meeting, you are still in the same position that you were. You're still the chairman until the organizational meeting.
Yeah, I am as chairman, but a lot of our policies and different stuff expires. I just think that's, I don't know. But I'm outvoted, it sounds like. So we'll do the second. What time on the second?
Now, does that work for you? Second's fine for me.
First works too, but
And
either.
I would suggest starting the meeting at 1 o'clock. If we could,
That's a Friday.
so Friday,
Could we start earlier?
Yeah.
we could start earlier, I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
11 a.m.? Lisa, does that work for you?
Yeah, I get it. Just, yeah. I'm off.
It shouldn't be a long meeting. Shouldn't.
Sounds like it's going to be.
For
this one's- Oh, gosh.
Okay. Is 10 too early? Is 10 too early?
10 works.
Okay. Move to alter the organizational meeting date from December 22nd following the end of year meeting to January 2nd at 10 a.m. at 3271 Cheshire Road, and advertise on the website and Facebook, social media accordingly. Second.
Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by trustee Bullard. Discussion?
Sure. I'll just say, just advertise in the normal places and which is on the bulletin board, and then we put it wherever we can put it.
Okay. Well, yes, yes,
Follow up.
yes. Friendly amendment for the bulletin board in all places. In accordance with our policy that expires on 12/31. Okay. Any further discussion? Please call.
Trustee Bullard,
Yes.
trustee Paycock,
Yes.
trustee Randall.
Yes.
Good.
Old business?
No, it's not old business, but it's
Future
probably,
meetings?
probably a new item.
Future
It's,
meetings?
Organizational, or, when do we stop spending?
Oh, when this
I
meeting
don't
is
stop,
listed.
I don't really stop spending, because we keep 25 open and 26 open, so we can still apply to 26 or 25 until we close that out, which would be,
Oh, yeah,
mid to late January.
that's what we always did. We never stopped spending.
Yeah, we didn't either. So
Yeah.
what I would ask is nothing huge.
Yeah.
You know, don't come to me with a $150,000
Right.
invoice with 6 days left in the year. But
Sure.
no, I mean it's kind of business as usual. So
Wow.
Yeah.
This is,
This is great. I mean,
Yeah.
well, we typically have about a month out of the
We had
we've been here for like 3 months.
no. So I mean, UAN gives us the ability to keep 2025 open while we have 2026 open. So you know, like I said, if you know you're going to have a big expense, just let us know so we make sure we have enough money left on the POs, because we will start to close the POs down as we get, into December. Because if you leave a PO open, when you close out your year, not on January 1st, but when you flip the switch, then you cannot spend that money for the year, for the whole following year. It's a quirk in the system, it's just the way it is. So, so we will start to, close those down probably around the 20th of December. So that's why if you know you're gonna have a big expense, let us know so we make sure we keep the right money open.
Perfect. That's great news.
In the past, it was typically we stop in the second week in December and start again whenever
February.
the books were completely done in January, which would be
Wow.
the 10th. or
That's
thereabouts.
No,
Wow.
Okay, this is fine.
no, thanks
This
for,
is great.
we won't do it that way. I never did at Orange, and, we were just fine. So, we passed audit, so we were fine.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay, future meetings, DCTA meeting on December 11th. Any other future meetings? Okay, late items. Any late items?
One, it's in the very back of your packet. So the new recliners came for fire and we need to remove them from the inventory, and then the chief intends to put them on gut deals if they're not broken or beyond repair.
Move to remove the 3 tan leather recliners from fire inventory and deem them as having no value to be disposed of. Moved by the chair, seconded by trustee Bullard. Discussion. Please call roll.
Trustee Paycock,
Yes.
trustee Rail,
Yes.
trustee.
Yes.
One more late item, which is in conversation with Burger Graydon about economic development services. They were doing a conflicts check, but if that comes back clear, the rates that were provided was $360 an hour for legal services, and then Argos would be between $275 and $300 an hour. So if the board wishes for me to get an engagement letter from them, then I can bring that back on December 8th.
Argos would be the consultants who would actually be able to manage the TIFs, JEDs, NCAs, all of that. So the claim was that they would do it at a consultant price, but I would hardly call $275 a consultant price, because we could have Brocious Johnson Griggs do that similar work to some extent at a lower price than that, right? Because we're at $225 with Brocious Johnson Griggs.
Yes, I do know that Argos that is their specialty, and so they're more of a finance team than they are not providing legal advice, so they would work alongside Burger.
Well, and I think that this is gonna be important. In fact, it does look like we do have time to potentially do a brief executive session for the purposes of economic development. I've had conversations about the potential agreements and bargaining negotiations related to economic development, and I'd like to keep you guys apprised of the situation. Is that okay if we go into executive session? Is that G4? G,
I wanna say it's 8.
G8, I think, yeah. Yes, move to recess into executive session from regular session pursuant to ORC 121.22 G8 to consider confidential information related to marketing plan specific business strategy, production techniques, trade secret, or personal financial statements of an applicant for economic development assistance or to negotiations with other political subdivisions respecting requests for economic development assistance. To have all members of the board, Administrator Hale, Fiscal Officer Kraft, Assistant Fiscal Officer, and Trustee-elect Don Sutton.
Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by Trustee Bullard. Discussion. Please call roll.
Trustee Rail?
Yes.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes.
Trustee Cahill?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll be right back. I promise this won't take a while.
Superintendent.
I know. You thought I was gone.
Someone told me we can't get Ricky.
Cost of road.
Hey, I still got the picture of your retirement party.
I know. It was my
John's
party.
there.
I thought I was retired too. I moved. You know?
You can't serve Veterans.
I had the meeting the other day and I didn't really recognize you.
Yeah, I mean, he could join on the 8th, right? I heard that you could do it before, but you can't do it after the first. Yes.
Before?
That you could do it before? Yeah, and she's doing it.
Then you could just do it on the 8th.
Yeah, okay. If he wants, he can have
He can't technically until the first, we can't add
Oh,
him to
leave
the
it.
program until the first.
Yes, and he can't serve till the first.
Yeah.
But that way we can. Did you have copies for me? Do we have new copies? Do you have any copies for me?
New copies?
Yeah.
No, I don't have any.
Okay, great. Love it.
Oh, you, did we change anything?
Did you change anything or something?
I was gonna say.
Everybody got real nervous.
I was thinking, if he didn't spell something right, huh?
I kinda like that. Like just asking developers when they come in, do you have?
Oh, we've got, after 11 years, dude, I really developed.
Always a couple of questions.
Get over it.
See ya.
Was that a serious question? Like, you really didn't know how many rangers? That was a serious question on the rangers?
Yeah. I was out elk hunting and we shot 3 and somebody said Rudolph's gone. So how many rangers were there? So which meant how many are left? 5.
Rangers were shit.
It's 3. It was, but it was a serious question about how many rangers.
It's like riding a bike. I don't know how you forget that.
So she got with Rudolph.
Yeah, I thought Rudolph was the lead and then there was 8 behind.
Rudolph's nose likes the way.
Right.
So there's technically 9.
Yeah.
I think so.
Who doesn't know? No.
You.
How about I asked you? That's right. Let's check that out. How many reindeer did Santa Claus have? Okay.
Make a motion that we return to regular session from executive session. So moved.
Second, moved by trustee Bullard, seconded by the chair. Discussion. Please call roll.
Trustee Paycock?
Yes.
Trustee Rail?
Yes.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes.
Okay, we did meet in executive session. No decision was made and no actions were taken. However, as part of our ongoing conversation related to economic development, I do think it would be appropriate for us to, as mentioned by Administrator Hale, pursue legal counsel with some expertise in this area. So we'll follow up with Ricker and Argos for a service agreement. In addition, I would like to be authorized to continue to represent the board's interests, and particularly, we'll call it the West Side Economic Development Plan. If you gentlemen are amenable to that, I can bring forward a motion.
I am.
Okay, move to authorize trustee Rail to engage in negotiations and discussions on behalf of the board related to economic development on the west side of the township.
Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by trustee Bullard. Discussion. Call roll.
Trustee Bullard?
Yes.
Trustee Paycock?
Yes.
Trustee Rail?
Yes, thank you. Okay. This brings us to our date time certain of 6:30 for the hearing of BZC case 19-007, Ross Estates. I hereby call the meeting to order. And with us this evening, we have representatives from Evans Farms. Hello, Mr. Griffin, how are you?
Griffin, Greg Chillon with the Edge Group, and Rick Toll with Evans Farm.
Welcome. If you guys would like to, if you guys have any material to hand out, you may do so. Otherwise, please join the lectern for the microphone purposes above you. And as with our standard hearing processes, there will be a brief presentation provided by the applicant, followed by comments and questions from the board. After those comments and questions are concluded, we will move into testimony from the public. Ask the public please keep it very brief and non-repetitive, and we will have those in favor of and those opposed before concluding our final discussion for the evening. If there are no objections, then that will be the protocol so ordered.
Could I ask a question?
Sure.
To begin with? I believe what you're doing here is taking the Ross estate and attempting to make it a part of Evans development.
Yes, and from the technical aspect of the actual guidelines and everything we did on the Norris property, yes.
I understand that, but this
Can we do the protocol first and then you can ask the question, because I want to have the.
This is kind of goes to the heart of what's going on. Because I believe what you're trying to do is to make this a part of the Evans development without actually putting it in the development for the Evans development.
Well, as we've.
Wait, gentlemen, I want to do the protocol and
Yeah.
the process for the hearing first, and then you can ask your question, but I
You
need
can
that
go
to be
ahead,
in order. Okay, so without objection, so ordered. Now you can go.
Just want to make sure.
So what we wanted to do from day one is at some point give the same design guidelines and architecturally and all the requirements that we have at Evans Farm and apply it to this property. Prior to this, it was not in, it was added later. So we had our Evans Farm zoning. So it certainly has the same requirements from the architectural side that we approved in the Norris. And as we talked about at the last, when we determined this was a major, to go back to the zoning commission with those. I don't know if there's that we're technically bringing it into the PUD that was a plan for Evans Farm. But we did want to make sure that since this property is part of the overall Evans Farm area and next to the school and everything else, we wanted to make sure it had the same guidelines to the south.
What I'm getting at is like homeowners associations and densities.
Yes.
Stuff like that. That all.
Yeah, it is,
governed
yes.
By the
Evans Farm HOA will be managing this property.
So legally, it's its own PRD.
Yes.
Okay, so legally, it's its own PRD, right?
Evans is
What they're doing
PRD.
tonight,
This
this
will
will be the zoning for this property only. It's not, from a legal perspective, it's not part of the existing PUD for Evans Farm. Now, what they do from a development standpoint and an HOA standpoint, bringing it in is something different, right?
Well, there's a lot of things in the Evans development that aren't covered here that I just was trying to understand. Because we're looking at density changes and a whole bunch of stuff that looks like Evans development, but this isn't covered by all
Right,
the stuff that's covered in the Evans
It's
development.
separate PRD, you're
It's a
correct.
separate PRD, correct.
Okay, I understand that. So then we can't consider the Evans development as being part of this, and this suddenly falls back into the normal development process. That's what I'm getting at.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So this, if we can't apply Evans Farm's prior approved zoning, then we need to treat this as a completely new zoning application for all intents and purposes.
Correct, legally, it's correct, but I think what they're trying to do is apply some of those same principles that the township liked in the Evans Farm development and move those in terms of development text, architecture, all those things. I think that's what they're saying, is that we want to take some of the same principles that are already existing and then move them over here. But certainly, you're free to treat it and negotiate, if you will, those standards that you deem fit, right? So you're not bound by what was previously approved with the existing Evans Farm. This is treated as its own application, its own PRD, and its own development text and standards. I think they're carrying over what was previously done for consistency purposes.
It was a PRD, and then it changed dramatically, and then this is the revision to the original PRD for that piece of property.
Yes.
Okay,
Correct.
and then a lot of what's in here looks like Evans development, but it isn't covered with the same detail that the Evans development covered everything. So we gotta look at, if we're gonna pick that up, then we need to pick up the Evans development stuff, and put it in here somehow.
That's fair.
What?
Go on, sorry.
Oh, no, I was just gonna try to answer.
Go ahead.
Can I have an overview first?
Okay, we
I
got it.
Yeah, that's
feel
what
like
I'm-
we've really, let them
Yeah.
present for just 5 minutes or so. Give us what
So-
you feel has changed, high level overview, density to, from, those kinds of things, whatever you guys wanna do.
So, as we discussed back when we just said it was a major, to go back and we want to incorporate the same standards to the south that we had in the north approvals into this. And then I want you to go through in detail each of those changes that were approved by the zoning. And really, we all talked about this last time, requested us to go back and incorporate this. So I'll give it to
Good
Greg.
evening.
Good evening.
I will try to sum this up as quickly as I can.
Thank you, it's greatly appreciated.
I know you appreciate that. Like Dan said, what we're doing here is we are modifying the existing zoning that's on the Ross Estates PRD. I believe it was originally zoned for some 72 lots. Our proposal is for 62 lots. We've broken it into 3 different sub areas at this point. The only sub area that any changes from that originally approved Ross Estates PRD would be sub area C, which is the southern half of the site that is immediately adjacent to the recently approved Norris of Evans Farm. So like I said, we're here tonight, give you an outline for the 62 lots. That's 61 lots that are in sub area C. 62nd lot is the lone large lot residential.
The old Ross home,
yeah.
or
Yeah, it's on Peach Blow Road, and then we also have the school site, which we're calling sub area A. So sub area A is the school, sub area B is the existing home, sub area C is the new portion that we're proposing new standards on. One of the big things that we're doing is, like Dan said, is we're trying to apply standards that were developed and have been committed to at Norris, at Evans Farms, onto this piece of property, the southern piece, sub area C. To do that, we've asked for 6 divergences, and I'm going to outline those very quickly. Divergence 1 deals with perimeter setbacks, very similar to what would happen on the Evans or the Norris site. Divergence 2 talks about the request to diverge from 20% open space, which was 8.55 acres, to 5.8 acres. And we've provided some justification for our request for that. And then the last set of divergences, divergence 3 through 6, really deal with the divergences to the individual lot standards, which brings those into consistency with what was approved at Norris, just immediately south. So 6 divergences were really 3 major topics for those divergences: perimeter setbacks, open space, and then lot standards. So we've kind of broken them up that way. and I'll be happy to answer those questions, but I just want to get through some of the finer points that we've provided. This text that we have provided, I worked with Jen Huber to make sure that it matches what was approved for Norris. So all of the
And
architecture.
did you pay her for that, or was that on our township's dime?
I don't know.
Just make sure that they get invoiced for that.
Oh, I'm sure.
We reconciled our notes, what we had, what we committed to at those final meetings, and we brought forward a clean copy, a clean bill. So that's what we've done. All those commitments relative to the materials, no vinyl, the commitments to the garage doors, the same standards that were applied there. We went through a process with the Planning and Zoning Commission, where we reworked some of the site plan, made some changes, reworked some of the open spaces, and we reduced some lot count there. So we're down to 61 lot units within Area C, and we committed to some lot diversity that was the exact same. So we have a mixture of lot sizes very similar to Norris. Pretty good amenity package with a central park. And when you look at it in context with what's happening in Norris, it's kind of the upper end of that block structure that we have an exclamation point at the top. We have one in the middle, and we have one at the south end near the town center. So when you look at that in context, it kind of makes some sense. So that central park there has some amenities around it for seating, some child's play areas for male. It's got retention pond in it with some landscaping around it. And we've made some accommodations for a furtherance of the path system that we had committed to as part of Norris. We've extended that through this site, made some connections to the school. We've applied the same buffering along Pyatt Road at the 12-foot on center at the same rates. And we've also made some commitments to provide some fencing between sub-area C and A, which would be between the school and our lots. It would be on our property in the form of some low fencing. So I think that sums up the standards that we brought forth as we work through the commission meetings, made some additional commitments and building off of what we agreed to at Norris. So I'll answer any detailed questions as needed.
Excellent, thank you, I appreciate that. Trustee Paycoff, we'll start with you and then we'll go to Trustee Bullard.
Okay, when I look at the original zoning, and I went back and read it, it was 1.85 units per acre. And it was to match the property, the development across the river. And that was one of the things that was set forth by the developer, was to meet what was existing. Now the sudden change has come because of a school site. And I read in the minutes where it was called a donation. Was that a donation of the school site?
Yes.
And what happened to the other school site? Because I thought the school site was in Orange Township.
Well, the school site in the oval, that was the original, from the very original plan. We got to the point where the school and us, we agreed that it realized that they did not want school buses coming internal, and they wanted more a school that was accessible by main arterial roads. So they came to us and we talked about it. We had 3 sites that we said we could do a school site for them on an arterial road. One was on the corner of Wayne Pyatt's property, which we didn't own at that time, so that was not available for us to commit to a school site there. The other one was across from Arrowhead, and the school did not want the 2 schools side by side with the school bus thing. So they chose the Ross property, and that's why we went with the Ross property and switched things. On the fact of the original zoning, anytime we abut a property, not with a road between, but abut the property, we did match the original zoning, and we've consistently done that throughout this development. But that was not the case for the Ross property. It doesn't abut the neighbors across the road, but even on the Arrowhead site, you'll see on that northern property line that those lots are the same size as what they back up to in the abut, and that was our commitment, so.
So the question, my question is this: what happened to the school site that Old Tangy had, that they basically swapped for this site? They are not using that site?
No, they're not using it for anything, and they went to in Orange Township, that was zoned in a commercial district, and we have zoned that for sale townhomes, high-end for sale townhomes. The whole oval. Now that the school site was going to be on that northeast corner, and that is to match the other three corners. We've rezoned that back, gosh, it might be a year ago, into for sale townhomes.
And I noticed these lots are 40, I wrote it down, most of them are 43 feet, 52 and 62. Majority of them, 46 lots being 43 feet, which is 75%. And out of that 46 homes, when I look at your drawings, the majority of those homes don't have a window in them in the front. It is a garage door and an entry door.
I'd have to look at that, but I think there's, I believe there are windows in the front, right? You have the drawings here?
The drawing was removed to match Nora's. It was those renderings that we removed. There's certainly windows on the front facade of those elevations.
Yeah,
So the architecture will be the same as
It's the
Nora's?
same as
well, that, and again, this.
And it's being developed by Miranda?
Yeah, and they went full blown, natural materials, same
So
thing.
the same thing that
committed
the
to
Miranda homes were.
And
Yeah, I saw some architectural renderings that were submitted here that had no windows.
We didn't
Yes,
submit those.
you've submitted some problematic samplings, which we talked about, aren't really indicative of the final product, so, but I think.
That must be what was given to me.
Yeah.
They had no windows. It was a front door, a student front door and a garage door.
Well, then we need to make certain windows will be part of that.
Yes.
In the porch
sure,
area.
but again, I remember going through the original drawings, and then when we uplifted with all the requirements of the coach lights and taking away the garage doors and backing them up and doing all those things that we were approved in North. These are the same.
One more, do have another question. I could not find it in here. On the development standards, I could not find like the overhangs on these. What was the overhangs on the houses? Was it spelled out?
Overhangs. I don't think there's any standard that's spelled out for overhangs anywhere. Overhangs or
That's
eaves.
a good point, I don't think we've ever asked that, have we?
No, I don't. Overhangs meaning.
Eaves and rakes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I didn't see it in here. If you're going to match the Norris farm, what did they have?
We didn't
It's
specify.
silent, there's nothing on it.
yeah, I don't think we ever discussed overhangs or eaves in the architecture.
But we should have,
You should
that
have.
was a miss on our part.
Yeah, for me, definitely.
Well, then what would you like to ensure, because, each one is new, what would you like to ensure is incorporated within this to that effect?
I mean, in the samples that I saw, it looked like maybe they were sporting maybe a 1 foot hard to tell, I'm not
Typically, we would commit to like 6 to 8 inch
Yeah,
overhang on rakes, rake ends, and eaves.
yeah, I would say that would be the minimum, but
Yeah,
it definitely needs to have something. On those homes.
I mean.
You guys can commit to
Yeah,
that?
I think, like I said, 6 to 8 is typically what we would commit to.
Okay.
That's typically a standard.
Then I think we should go to the larger number of the 8. And that would, because I would call that a minimum.
And we would word that as, how would we word that to you?
We could say overhangs or rakes and eaves be a minimum of 8 inch.
Overhangs, rakes, and or eaves.
And I noticed in this, this was different than the original Evans Farm. The original Evans Farm only had 40-foot lots. These are 43, but they originally had alleys. I noticed that this layout has no alleys.
No, same with Norris. We've been through that for the last year on the alleys, and cost, the way the streets have changed. So from the original Evans Farm plan, and again, this isn't part of Evans Farm, but from the original Evans Farm, now we're talking about Norris. It had alleys on Norris property. So that's when the road swung through and then reconnected to Pyatt Road. And we've gone through this with the zoning and the trustees prior. The county came back and decided that Pyatt Road and Shanahan comes in and meets Pyatt, and then Pyatt's going straight. So the county did not want us to follow the same pattern of our streets patterns that were in the preliminary development plan. So, and then since then, they've put 2 roundabouts, one at Hollenbach and one at Shanahan. And those 2 roundabouts are committed. So when we relayed out the lots and the acreage on the left side, and considering trying to build a house that people can afford nowadays, we determined that to get some lots back, we've lost a lot. Those original, in that whole area, when we added it up, were like 193, and then we're down to 183. So we lost a lot of lots, and we're not doing that.
What would be your definition of affordable?
I'd like to get into the mid-4s range, and that's what these are designed for. They're slab homes, they're not basements. And they're different from what's across the street that Pulte will be doing, and they're different from what Rockford. So we're trying to hit markets and differentiate the housing styles.
Where is that location you say, across the street?
Arrowhead, next to the Arrowhead School.
That is Pulte?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And they are slab homes, but they do have, part of your square footage is above the garage, that's correct?
Could be. There could be space above.
The ones that were submitted to me, that was part of you had, I think, an 800 minimum on the first floor, and the rest of it was upstairs and above the garage. What was the intended use of these homes as far as, are we calling these single-family homes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's one of our desires, again, for families starting with kids they'll be able to walk to school, et cetera. So they're single family homes. They're not targeted towards 55 and older or anything. These are family homes.
Yeah, so I'm just struggling with math. You had 77 lots on 46 acres, I believe.
They were big, yeah.
Yeah, 80 by 140s.
Mhm.
And now you've come back for a modification. And the modification on the parcel numbers, now I'm gonna have to ask this question to legal counsel. They've come back for a modification on these parcels, but they don't own all the parcels for this modification.
You don't?
They do not own the school system,
Oh, we donated that to the school.
but on the application, as the owner, it says on what I have, unless I have something different, unless somebody has something different, it's Bellis Zenius Development, BZD.
Yeah.
So the legal question is, how do you come in for these parcels when the other people that own the other properties are not on the paperwork?
We do call out all parcels within the text, to define
We're all-
PRD area.
I think
And we're only modifying the parcel that we own.
correct. There is the school site, but the school site is part of the existing PRD,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
That was already approved.
Yeah.
You're amending a portion of the existing PRD to only be sub-area C.
So we created 3 sub-areas.
Correct.
A and B are the existing owners, as is, no changes, default code. Sub-area C is taking the modifications.
And the school supports the modification, and as well as they talked to us about the piece across the street, they're bringing a sewer line from into the school, and they're actually requiring that developer to build some of the fence and do some of the buffering with it, so.
In a perfect world, they probably should have, we probably should have had something.
Yes.
They're consenting to the modification.
Yes, because I haven't seen anything for the people involved in this modification that they agreed to it after they are the property owners.
We can condition the approval on a letter from the property owners, because I've talked to both of them.
Yeah.
They're fine with it.
I
didn't know
I
that.
don't want to disagree with you that they technically now are a property owner of this PD, even though, I mean, I think you're right on. I mean, I would want something in the file, just reflecting that they're okay with and consent to the
Yeah.
modifications that are being requested.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen this situation where a modification has been done without the owner's consent.
If the property was already transferred, which I'm sure the school district gave.
Yeah, I could call them right now and get them to text something right now, but we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good
So
point,
we'll
condition.
provide an owner authorization.
Yep.
Signature, letter.
I think letter consenting to the modification, modification to the PRD.
I missed that one, I apologize, I should have.
Yeah.
Just didn't think we're so close in contact with the school about it anyway, I didn't realize.
So which parcel number that I'm looking at would be the school system?
Sub-area A, 418-3-400-1049-002.
Nine zero zero two?
I believe that's it.
And the school is approximately 21 acres?
Yeah.
I'm not
Trustee Bullard?
Well, you heard my start.
Yes.
There was some questions that were brought up by the county engineer, dealt with drainage and some of that sort of stuff. How did that get resolved? Or did that get resolved? The storm sewer, part of it's gonna go to, I think, maybe the McNamara ditch, and then part of it's gonna go to the south, I'm assuming.
It's going to the center retention basin where it is now, and then it'll go to the south along the railroad track.
So this property is basically all gonna drain south
Yes,
and not across the school property and going that way,
that's what I understand, yes.
okay?
And details of that will be forthcoming as we get through final
Construction.
engineering and construction drawings.
Well, and you've got the pond, the retention pond shown in there. What I don't wanna lose is I don't wanna lose the pond growing into the house lots and that sort of thing.
Right.
I wanna make sure that the pond stays where it is, and if you need more pond, dig it deeper.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't take away from the land.
And we have that language in the text now.
Mhm.
What we talked about.
That says that it needs to stay the same size or it would be a major modification.
I understand we do, but the engineers sometimes take a little different look at things. And, well, this would be easier if we did this and we did that, and it ends up cutting out on the lots. I don't want that to happen. What was the original number of lots on the approved plan before?
Way back when, originally,
Originally for the Ross property, when the school and everything was all in one, there was one piece of property.
yeah, 77, or no, 72. 72. I said 77 last time, and 72.
And we're now at 61.
Yeah.
Correct.
62, right?
Well, 62, including the old Ross house, which is partial themselves.
But the 72 went up, took in most of the school building and all. I mean,
Oh,
there
yeah.
was a lot
Yeah,
more
the
land.
spacing was,
It was all.
so I guess to maybe what both of you seem to be intimating, the density is higher than
Yes.
1.85 because the property has been cut in half.
Yes.
Yeah. But there are justification for why they're including the school, and I think this is kind of where you get with your green space too, is, you know, half of it's been cut out, so it looks very different than the calculation. If you were to take that same calculation and all of that land incorporated, it would still be less than 1.5. But then you don't own it anymore. So it's kind of, when does the school,
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
You know.
apply to this and when doesn't it?
we have never, when I was previously on the board, we were never given the density for the school. If it was Arrowhead, the developer, it was a financial transaction that happened, and he gave up the lots, you know.
And that
financial.
doesn't count as.
And that
part
did
of
not count, that was not considered green space, that was considered a school site. The original school site here, the original school site here was, I would say, that would probably be on the Orange Township side, correct?
Yes.
Yes, that was on the original Orange Township side, so it's really kind of a swap, because they are getting density on that school site now, is what I've just heard with townhomes. So,
Not additional, those units were just already accounted for and approved, it's not,
so you're not getting any additional units in Evans Farm?
not because the school moved.
Well,
They're just being pushed around on the site.
yes, yeah. They're never going to exceed the limit that 192
Yes.
or whatever it is, but every time they come in here, they have a reduction in density for the parcel that they brought through. But they're annexing a portion into the city of Delaware that they're going to be adding lots to.
Correct.
And that you have that room to play with it, but it's not a true were only reducing Evans Farms in total, but they are reducing the Berlin Township area of Evans Farms density.
So I will leave that alone at this point because this zoning is gonna stand on its own two legs. Because it's a separate PRD. It's a separate, what I've heard is a separate application.
Right.
Separate from Evans Farms. So I'm not gonna take any of that into
Right.
consideration on just this one site of 42 acres.
Correct. And on this 42 acres, you would be right in saying that the total number of units has been reduced, but the density has gone up.
Correct.
Because of the net density, because of the developable acreage being cut in half due to the school. And so what you guys are asking for is basically the divergences are a product of your charitable donation to the school.
Yeah, which,
It's your interpretation.
yeah, as well as, and again, trying to match what's to the south to what's there.
Yeah.
From a cost standpoint, from an architecture standpoint, as well as, you know, as we all know, if we look at the whole,
Yeah.
which these are separate, but if we look at the whole, as well as working and donating parkland and being, you know, trying to make it all Evans Farm without, because we've already been through the situation of the road changing by the county and going through that major modification and things that we didn't change, so,
That's what we're discussing here this evening, and that's what was approved for us, and it's up to date as much as we can.
And basically, I mean, your green space argument, your density, your net density argument, all of those are because you're in the situation because of the donation to the school. That's what you've put in your application. So it stands alone. These are the divergences requested and the reasoning why. The sewer, you mentioned this, the sewer and stormwater. Gentlemen, I saw the language you had, and maybe I was looking at the wrong portion. There's the stormwater, and I did not see where you had added, if anything. I saw that it would be considered a major change if it gets enlarged or if the pond, but I did not see anything where if any amenities need to be replaced as a result of the engineering, that you would replace it with something of equal or greater value. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I didn't see it in the stormwater area, but I figured I just missed it from the other area.
I remember the conversation.
And if not, then you can put it in the stormwater area, and that would be fine. Because I think that's where we ended up putting that language before we said.
So if you look at 18, what you're referring to is 18B, if you look at on page 24, if you look at E, I think that was our attempt to capture what you're talking about as amenities shall be located through stormwater facility design. Such amenities shall be relocated within the development.
Wait. Okay, 2418B.
yeah, E.
E.
Should be highlighted.
And that is the same language that's in the Norris approvals.
They don't have highlighted.
Oh, so
Okay. We like that equal or greater value. But yeah, thank you.
well, we can, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a smidge,
In fact, that's
of a
what we-
wordsmith.
When we were at the zoning commission, we went through that in detail on this site, and we actually removed a couple lots and got the play area next to the lake.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, going back to my original question, which is, do you plan on attaching this to the Evans Farms development completely? I mean, like the homeowners associations and all that sort of stuff?
The Evans Farm Homeowners Association will maintain this association.
And what I'm concerned about is, you got this plan, and that's great, and everything's going together fine, we put all this together, but I didn't see any language in here that actually said that this was part of the Evans development plan, And it's different than all of the other individual sections that we've done. Because this one,
yeah, no, I'm with you, and I know we talked about it, I just wanna, let me check something of where we,
and
because we did that with the north, that the HOA was going to
but the
maintain.
North was in there originally, I believe.
Right,
And I might ask Pete about this, but I don't know how appropriate it would be to designate a specific HOA shall maintain this.
be glad to.
Well, I mean, well,
I'm just saying from a zoning.
yeah, so it's not uncommon, I mean, a lot of times you see zoning codes that require it. But I don't know from your guys' perspective whether you have a master association with sub.
Yeah, they have a
HOAs.
master and sub.
Right, so I think the important thing is making sure that it is an HOA. It is an HOA and it's going to potentially be subject to your master Evans Farm.
And that is on page 23.
Does that make sense?
I think we have language
23.
for that.
On 23, that's saying that this shall include without limitation any master association or any sub-association as referenced in the master
Yeah.
declaration of covenants and restrictions,
Yeah.
assessments for Evans Farm.
Yeah.
I think we wanted to make sure that we were covered. And at one point, let me, and I think we explained this last time when we were in the major modification side. At one point, we were looking at these individual builders and these areas as maybe running their own sub-associations. And then
Yes.
we realized that giving anything away and not sticking to the requirements and not running them ourselves, we ran the risk of these properties not being taken care of in the overall Evans Farm atmosphere. So with all the landscaping and buffering, all these builders, including Rockford and Pulte, and all of them will be under one master association, and it'll be the Evans Farm Master.
One master association and then half a dozen or so of the individuals with each of the individual developments.
Yeah, one master association is gonna run Evans Farm. And the only group that in Orange Township, which will have sub-association under that master, will be Epcot because of their private streets
In
Okay.
Orange?
in Orange. There'll be a sub-association. They'll still be paying into the master, and the master will be responsible to run the Evans Farm master requirements on them. But at the same time, they have private streets. Much like the alleys were, we've actually changed the master covenants and restrictions to make sure that alley loaded lots in Orange Township are maintained not by a separate sub-association that the master's taking care of. Because it just gets too confusing having too many groups run.
So this will be a part of the master
Yes,
association?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's, to your point, I think this is kind of an interesting point, because if this was always a distinct zoning that we had, we do typically in other zonings have turnover point at 85% of the build out and those kinds of things. Evans, we never have dealt with that because it was already approved the way it was in 2016, but technically this parcel would not necessarily be subject to that if we wanted to add other restrictions.
Well, we are subject, yeah, okay.
Like technically we could, since you guys are running it, you guys are trying to integrate it right now. Right now it's not integrated. So we could have other conditions if there were things more that you didn't find were addressed, but at least to their point, at least they do say it will be part of the master.
What my real concern is that this is a different piece of property than the other properties that are all in the Evans, and we're covered by the Evans plan. If this one ends up sold, or for some reason ends up going some other direction, it would be easy to say, hey, we're not part of Evans, so we don't have to do any of that stuff. That's what I'm really concerned about. What I want to make sure of is if we're believing that this is all tied into Evans, I want to make sure that this is tied into Evans, and that anybody that comes along and develops it later which we never know how things go, that they're tied into the Evans project, and they don't get to walk off and do whatever they want to do.
But
That's a good point, but you're still governed by the standards.
well, you're kind of hitting the point where I was going. Because this is a one zoning, includes the school. So, is the school also in Evans master? Is the one single house in Evans?
Not, no. We would only write that into sub-area C.
Sub-area C.
Which is the lots.
And
So now we've refined it to sub-area C.
and I think we've been consistent in text to high. These are the standards for A and B. These are the standards for C.
Yeah, because
You have, but in the homeowner association language, I didn't see you call out sub-area C was part of the homeowners, at least on the page 23, 14B.
Yeah, so that's part of,
Sub-area association.
so that's part of, if you follow back to F on 22, the first line, design standards, we talk about which ones are applicable.
Yes, you did a great job on that.
So that follows all the way down to that section.
No.
Yeah, so you have F.
F, oh,
You have F1 through 14. So those are the standards. 1 through 14 are the standards for sub-area C.
I think we are.
yeah, you're right.
So we are committing sub-area C to the HVAC, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you're right.
And it also references any, transfer as well.
The transfer,
So if they were to sell this property, this, in terms of what you've approved, making that property subject to the Evans Farm Master Association would carry to any new owner. So a new owner would have to come back before you and try to modify, again. So this is these are the restrictions. So they're subjecting some area C to the
so you're
Evans Farms
saying,
Master.
let's say they sold the parcel entirely, not part of Evans Farm at all. The zoning, they would still participate in this HOA unless they came back and had it modified. And then at that point, let's say they wanted to keep all the zoning the same, but change the HOA regulations.
So then you would need to work through that as a board if you felt that was appropriate. But right now.
But would everything then be again on the table?
I would, yeah, I mean, I would.
Like we could take away, different lots or this or that's.
Well, I mean, one question I would have is we like the consistency
Yeah.
and all the art, all the architecture and the development standards and things like that. And you would need some assurances that that's not going to change.
Interesting.
Including the density. But this becomes the zoning for the property. So if a new owner does not want to be part of the master association through Evans Farms, they're going to have to come back in front of the township to get that modified.
That makes me feel comfortable. Because even if somebody else came in, we could say, okay, you don't have to be part of Evans Farm, but you have to form an HOA, you have to turn it over at 85. We could work through those kinds of things at that
Correct.
time.
They are making a commitment in their development tax to zoning for the property that this PRD will be subject to the Evans Farm Master Association.
Does that satisfy your question? Let me rephrase that.
I'm glad you laughed, Ron, because I was going to say, well, sort of.
Probably not, but.
There may be other things that, Ron, you want, but,
And something that kind of fits into that same category is, you made a statement in there about, you want the street trees, the roots of the street trees, if they cause a misalignment in the sidewalks,
Same thing we
And,
agreed to at the north.
and the
Agreed.
curb on the street, which they will. That'll happen. It may not be the first 10 years, but it will definitely happen. It says the owners, and did you mean the owners or did you mean the HOA would be responsible for that?
It's the HOA, the owners of the individual house is responsible for the street tree area as it goes. The HOA is responsible to take over any damage that would be caused 10 years from now, and then that's why we're doing the same thing at Evans Farm. I get that we weren't normally putting street trees in the right of way.
Well, where I'm coming from is technically the homeowner doesn't own the sidewalk or the land that the sidewalk is on or the curb. That's township fee simple property.
Right, so
It's
the HOA.
it's not the old way of doing with right-of-ways and that sort of stuff. It's transferred completely. So the homeowner would be responsible for stuff that happens on the township property. Let me put it
Yeah,
that
the
way.
homeowner shovels the sidewalk, like me, I shoveled the sidewalk in front
Yeah,
of
you're
my
still
house,
responsible, they're still responsible for maintaining the sidewalk.
and I cut the grass, in the little tree lawn, and I mulch around the trees in those. But if I didn't, the HOA would do it for me and lien my property. So they make sure, and the HOA is responsible. So what we've always done, and we did it in our original zoning, the HOA is responsible to do things for the overall development, like cut dead limbs out to make sure they're up 14 feet so a kid in the school bus can't put his arm out and hit, things like that. So, yes, we want the homeowner because it's in the front of their house to maintain it, but we also have the authority and we do it. Rick runs pretty much, we drive through all the time and we ask a homeowner if they're not cutting their front lawn, they're not doing this. And if they say no, the HOA just comes in and does it and leaves the property. So we maintain it.
So I want to go back to, I don't necessarily love the language you guys have in terms of the Master Association. And you said that was under F14.
Which
Yeah.
page?
22, 23,
Yeah, page
F
23.
14,
14 all areas.
F14B.
Right. So when I read that, it says no event shall any political subdivision be included in regard to any members of the homeowners association having farm development. This shall apply to all circumstances resulting as an owner in the other farm development, whereas assessment sign shall include without limitation any masters association. So where does it say that sub-area C is specifically part of the master association?
It's all the way up at F.
Is it?
It's in the beginning of F before. That was my same issue. On page 22F, description, it says design standards, site design and landscaping of sub-areas A and B.
Where as follows.
Okay.
I think what I'm following you though is it doesn't say in this language here that the HOA shall be the Evans Farm HOA.
Correct. This is 14B to me is reading that the sub-areas A and B are not. I think it'd be worded a little clearer. Do you see what I'm saying?
I think it could be as clear as saying there shall be an HOA
Or sub-area C.
for sub-area C and it shall be.
Yes.
Correct. That's
See,
my point.
and that, yeah,
I
I
agree
mean,
with you.
you can kind of get there, but when I read that, I thought it was missing too. But
Yeah,
let's make it a little bit
Yeah,
clearer.
given the concerns of at least two of the trustees, I would probably clarify that a little bit if you guys don't mind.
Sure. And do we want to clarify that in the Norse? I mean,
No,
I know we're not talking about Norse.
we're not talking about Norse.
But I just want to make sure. I'll do whatever
Yeah,
we need.
if I have to read it 3 times to figure it out,
Yeah.
It makes me feel a little bit
So
better.
we wanted to say there's gonna be an HOA, a master HOA.
It will be part of the Evans Farms Master HOA for subsection C. And we don't have to say it for Norris, because Norris is already encompassed in that.
Right, I just
So
want
that
to
was
make sure
already-
the language that we use.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, perfect.
thank you.
Did you have anything else, Trustee Bullard?
Well, I'd like to, like, item 7, 22, item 7. I read this as, it's all gonna be maintained, but it doesn't say who's gonna maintain it. Now, maybe I'm not reading it right, maybe it's covered someplace else in here. But it says all vegetation materials shall be maintained and prevent plants and all that sort of stuff, but who's doing the maintenance?
Within the right of way, it would be HOA.
Is that clarified anywhere?
That's 14A.
And is that clarified somewhere where the HOA is the one responsible for that?
All plantings included within the public right-of-way shall require the prior approval of the subdivision responsible for maintenance of the right-of-way. Plantings in all open areas and islands outside of the public right-of-way shall require prior consent of the property owner. The maintenance of these plantings is the responsibility of the applicant, its successor, or its assigns.
It would be the HOA.
Mm-hmm.
The HOA.
So the applicant's here in the room now, and a few years from now, the applicant's not gonna be around. I mean,
Yes, I am.
I
know what you mean.
As far as these lots are
20
concerned, you're gonna sell them and somebody else is gonna be
They're
the
gonna
person.
sign their rights.
So what I want to do is just make sure who's the one that carries that maintenance responsibility.
So,
Whoever he assigns it to.
Correct.
Because it's not gonna be a problem for 10 years. 10 years is
Absolutely. No, I
when those issues are gonna kick in.
so do you want, I mean, I understand your point. Do we just say HOA rather than whoever is assigned to?
That would be a,
I mean, is that,
and who else could you assign to?
Because I think that would cover his concern.
Yeah.
The only,
I just want
The
to
only-
make sure that that's.
the only way I just wouldn't want to restrict you if you all intended to assign it to somebody else.
That's not what I'm asking. You have a
That's
flexibility.
your question, not.
Yeah,
I'm asking you for your flexibility to only restrict yourself to assigning it to an HOA, or can you assign it to a new developer?
No, we're,
Could you, or would you possibly have
right.
to?
So this would
No.
restrict you
the answer is
to
no,
an
because we're
HOA.
developing the lots ourselves. And we're,
So there shouldn't be any problem with just saying it's
Right.
the Evans Farms HOA
yes, I agree.
in this case. In some cases, you may want to retain that flexibility, but in this one, this goes back to, let's say a terrible unforeseen event happens and you end up having to sell it. Well, they would just have to come back and get that modified then, right? Okay, so we're gonna modify 14A to explicitly indicate the responsibility of Evans Farms HOA to
Is that the
maintain.
name of it, Dave? Evans Farms?
Evans Farms Master.
Master Homeowners Association.
Evans Farms Master Homeowners Association. EFM. You guys didn't do an acronym for this one.
No, we should. My partners and I decided we
EFMHA.
probably should have just kept Evans Farm Land Development Company because it was EFLDC.
Yeah.
By the way, I just wanted to let you know, I reached out to Jeff, and he's on vacation, the school. He said, Dan, we are aware of the Ross project to support the development around Peachville Crossing and Arrowhead Elementary. I will follow up with an email when he returns from vacation, so we will get that to you.
Great.
And I'll get that from the other property owner as well.
Okay. Anything else, Trustee Bullard?
Well, the 6-foot side yard setback is kind of a concern. It's just a comment, the neighbors are gonna have to be very comfortable with each other, because if you put some plantings and stuff in there and you wanna do something with your kids in the backyard, you don't have much room to move anything back there. if you're moving a trampoline or something of those ranges, if you can build it in the backyard, that's great, but if you can't, you better be friends with all your neighbors so you can figure out a way to get into the backyard.
Yeah, and then they're the same 6-foot side yards that we do at Evans Farm, as well, and, that's.
And I'm assuming they'll keep the garbage cans in the garage because, you certainly don't want to put them in the back and try to get around through there. It's gonna be an issue as far as time goes on. And do you understand what I'm looking at? I don't have a lot of problems, other than the ones I've stated, so I'm okay.
Okay. I had a couple items I wanted to very briefly address. First, I did appreciate the work in providing cohesion and consistency to the properties to the south. I think it makes for a very smooth transition of zoning. I really like the walkability. As you noted, Mr. Griffin, we have the pathway to the school. That's going to be a hit. I also appreciated the trail along the railroad tracks that allows for that surfability. And then, of course, out on Pyatt Road, that consistency, all of that. So very well done, and I think nicely designed on that front.
And I did talk to the owner, which is the same person that owned the Ross property, that bought the house, and they're fixing it up, and he also will extend the 10-foot path across his yard.
Oh, for the subsection A?
We'll be able to make the connection.
That would be what we're referring to as the Tonkin property?
Yeah, remember we.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, that's wonderful.
And the zoning commission actually even said that's why one of the lots we pulled back and got rid of on the property, because we didn't want to get too close to his property.
Great.
What do you see? I'm sorry.
Hold on. That said, there are some items that I think are still a little bit problematic, specifically the green space. So I wanted to have a little bit of a conversation about that. I understand what your justification is. We gave a school. I think where I'm going with the green space conversation is we were talking about having a lot of different diversity of the green space. So in Norris Farm, for example, you guys did a good job articulating some of that fishing, some of that more passive walking area. I was really hoping to see something that helped address that connection between the school and this area, and specifically helped address some of the deficit in youth sports or recreation. Things like, we've talked about this before, basketball, pickleball, something that kind of connects those two properties in a way that addresses youth-related recreation, because I think that there's a really unique opportunity with this parcel, unlike some of the other parcels that you guys have worked on, right?
Well, and the zoning commission, that's when we got rid of those lots and brought in the play equipment for the kids and did the top. But you're talking about a bigger story. And I thought, and I'm thinking that, for that purposes is what we were doing on the west side of the tracks with the park, and the open space over there being more of the, I guess, sports activities that we were all looking at, with the 10 acres that we're donating over there for the Berlin Park. Then
you have the infrastructure and
then you have
road networks to support traffic in and out.
Parking, for more than just the development itself.
Right. Well, and the thing is you kind of do have that because you have the school parking area, right? Like, for example.
And you have the school ball fields too, and those things.
Yeah, so it seems like there could be something there, because here's my concern.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got rid of the school parcel, you donated it.
Right.
And now we have a green space issue where your green space is like 3 acres plus short of meeting the standard of our zoning text, right, technically. And I'm wondering if we can't figure out a creative way to resolve that so that we do hit that mark of what our zoning standard is.
You know, one of the things we looked at, and we pulled, with the zoning commission's input, we pulled any kind of play area for kids away from Pine Road, right? So you see behind these lots, you have that green space in there. I don't know how much it is.
It's not very much. Depending on what you're, for programming, I mean, I don't know how you program it with,
Is it an acre?
no,
In here?
no, I don't think.
I'm just wondering if we can't
It's
put
challenging dimensionally for it.
pickleball court or something, you know, that's more
Yeah.
appropriate.
Dog park or something like this, right? Just other amenities, and then
Oh, I like it.
there's a lengthy, some of the parcels, some of these parcels are very long, right? You have parcel 26, 25, 36, 35. And my understanding that these lines are the parcel lines, so they're narrow but long.
Lot lines, yeah.
With a fire, we could put a park right in there with a fire pit, more passive, and then we could come up here and put a pickleball court closer to the road.
So this one very long.
Well, and that would drain out the noise too. I mean, the noise wouldn't be a concern for that.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I'd put a pickleball court behind
Yeah.
somebody's brand new house.
Well, before lot one. Well, that's true.
We have that currently right now, with pickleball
We
courts,
don't.
we have it.
You could require silent paddles and silent.
Referee out there.
Yeah.
Well, like, so just think about what could be active. What's like dog park, you know, basketball maybe has the same challenge, shuffleboard, you know, and then these extra long parcels. I'm wondering if you couldn't go up into there and get some additional green space out of that.
We could, you're correct.
It's not very good green space. I mean,
It's
we
really.
could have done that to easily add to our total acreage. It's just not very usable.
Well, but the problem is that if you keep it, so here's what you could do. You could take out or figure out something between lot 29 and 30. You could take out one of those lots and you could create a middle space that goes for the whole duration of that. And I think that would be utilized more so than, you know, coming out and then having it become like a swampland. But the reality is that most of these people will build the fence to the property line, and then that whole area would be cut off. So is there, and I mean, you're the expert in these kinds of things, is there anything from a use standpoint that we could benefit from for kind of clearing out that center area?
I appreciate it, and we were challenged to look at that. We can always shoehorn it in there, you know, using those terms, because I, as a professional, think that's what we would be doing in that instance. If we're gonna put space behind homes, it should be substantial space, I think, as opposed to just, that space is probably as big as this room. So looking at scale-wise, I don't know how beneficial that much is to coming off the back of these lots, which would happen with something like that. It's just not.
Well, and you get rid of lot 30, is what she's saying.
So then you would have a straight through, like, so I don't know that this would be the right thing to do, but like something as skinny as that you could have as like a dog park area, like a fenced area to take the dogs for that. I don't know if that another location would be better, but just having some different community activities. Dan, I liked your idea about,
You know,
I liked your idea about the fire pit and the.
I like that, but let's think about being able to do something. And really what it is, it's the way to do something that would be, I think, what we're all after, would be to get rid of lots 1 through 4 or get rid of lots 58 through 61 and create a space that's, created there.
Oh, yes, I see what you're saying.
See what I'm
In
saying?
both of those
That's-
instances, add to what you already have to make it
Yes.
bigger.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and I kind of like 58.
See, I was thinking I like 1 through 4.
I like 1 through 4
because-
too, because that's an entry feature.
Well, we have
We'll get
bigger
rid of
area.
all
No, thanks. Appreciate that comment.
I like both, but one of the things with
The benefit to 1 through 4 is it's adjacent to the school.
Yeah,
yeah,
I like that.
close to the bike path, the public
It brings that.
is more accessible, but on the flip side, the other area could be a nice, it could be something that Norris Farm also uses. But I like 1 through 4. I think that makes the most sense for me.
Well, I think so too, because it's adjacent to the school.
Yeah.
And it counts. I have a suggestion. I suggest that, in understanding what we've all talked about for the past year and really working, well with everyone, that we would be amenable to deleting lots 1 through 4 and designing a, space there that is, more recreational and maybe it's a dog park, but again, we'll look at that.
I think that would make a lot of sense, and I appreciate you guys' willingness to do that, because I think that it can really,
I think it does. I mean,
really be something good for schools.
Approximately what would be the total acreage there with lots included?
I think we get near to that 20%.
I think
No,
we're close,
Yeah, we're close.
If those are 5,500 square foot lots, 53, 54.
It might be an acre in those 4.
Yeah.
Just those 4, but just the whole piece is, yeah, I agree, I think that's it, and we would commit to that tonight.
And I think that's a great buffer too for the neighbors across the road.
Well, their kids are gonna go there.
For a visual, I like that.
And see, this is my thing, so the divergence with the green space is, the 20% is a threshold. But if you actually are having green space that is active and utilized, it's one thing that, calculate that total behind houses or along the railroad tracks. But it's the feeling of the use of the green space
Agreed.
that, I think makes a huge difference here. So that would alleviate my concerns with that divergence, because it would promote the activities that we want in those green spaces.
We would like to put that in to tonight.
Okay.
Is the 60 foot along the Tonkin house, the Tonkin property? What's the proposal there?
So on the north side, there's a 25-foot building setback. And that space between the Tonkin property line and lot 58 is about 20 feet, which we were gonna do a planting buffer in. Double row evergreen trees.
Yes, we went through that with the zoning division, and I talked to
Yeah, so it overlaps the side yard setback of lot 58. And gets it out of that 25-foot setback. That was something that we added with the zoning commission discussion.
So that would still be in control of the HOA?
Yes.
Now.
Okay. That was, that's all I have. Does anybody else have anything? Okay, we'll open it up for public comment. Those in favor? We'll open it up for public comment. Those opposed? Okay, we will be closing public comment at this time. We have, did you take notes too by chance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scratch them out.
Can you keep me honest on if I
Yep,
missed anything
absolutely.
here? We have, conditional approval for, pending modifications of the property owner's approval to the zoning, which you guys will provide that. We have, rakes, overhangs, and or eaves minimum of 8 inches. We have, the waste stormwater occupation of equal or greater value language to be included. we have explicitly indicating that the responsibility will be on Evans Farms Master Homeowners Association for the maintenance of the design standards. We will clarify some of the language in 14B to explicitly say that that applies to subsection C. We will eliminate lots 1 through 4, and the commitment is to have, let's think of that wording, at least 2 active uses of the what?
Recreation.
For recreation purposes.
Including but not limited to a dog.
Okay.
And when we say recreation, that is not organized.
No. I mean, the homeowner will be responsible for maintenance of it, so if the homeowners association wants to do something.
And I don't really want to say passive because passive means different things.
But what I'm saying is it would be controlled by this subdivision, not
Right.
Evans Farm.
No, it would be controlled by the HOA.
It's going to be controlled by the master.
So the master will control that.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
right.
we've got that throughout. all
So
of it.
at least 2 recreational purposes, elimination of units 1 through 4 with at least 2 recreational purposes intended for those units, that area, we say, including but not limited to the potential of a dog park. Okay.
So that brings up one more question for me. So if that changes, then how does that change the landscape plan?
It does. We would keep the strip that we agreed to out in front, and then it would be on this side. So I don't think it changes the landscape plan at all. And the fence will still go across, and to be able to walk into the school property, we've got that path, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think it changes the landscape plan.
The only other one I had was that the applicant shall require.
Oh, I see.
It's gonna change the landscape.
I see what you're saying, yeah. Well, no, I was thinking of the strip, but then I saw this drawing. So yeah, absolutely. We will continue this out here. With those 4 gone, this landscaping will be out here.
Yeah, you'll probably come down here with something.
Yes, that'll change.
Yeah.
As long as it's out along the road, you change
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Did you write it all
Increase
up?
the-
Awesome.
Yep.
And one should be like a sporting activity too. Something sporty.
Pickleball with a quiet path.
Something sporty. It doesn't have to be pickleball.
Badminton.
Badminton,
I love
great.
badminton.
I love badminton too.
Lunch
Is that a sport?
It's not jogging. Hey, we're not letting the kids play
An
the joggers.
Olympic sport? No.
I love those things. I couldn't believe it when they came out with them. I'm sorry. The kids are gonna play with a big old heavy.
What was the 7? What was the one?
Just that the other 2 property owners need to consent to the modification.
That was, yeah, I read that
Yeah,
one
we'll
for
get
number 1. Okay, good. Do you feel that you have everything
I'm
written?
gonna hand it to you, you can read it before I print it. So that we know everything's captured.
Okay.
There we go.
Can I unplug it?
Clarification. Mound, since that is going to be an active area, I'd like to see that mound along Pyatt Road as high as you can get it. In case a car did come off the road, if there was a barrier.
Yeah. And I think we committed,
5 feet?
3 feet.
3 feet?
Yes.
3 to 5, we said, yeah. Oh, no, we committed to that all the way across there.
Yeah. Well, do you know the section that you guys put that in for, so that you can reference it? Sorry.
There's a section on Pyatt Road, On page 24, 15 C, Pirate Road landscape screening. Earth mounted 3 to 5 feet in height shall be integrated in the screen. Reasonable break and accommodate codes and range.
Yeah, so yeah, I saw
The maintenance
3 to
design
5.
service will be the responsibility of.
And included,
Are you in 15C, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I'm saying, it says 3 to 5.
Of and included.
And because there's that,
included in the.
because you have that extra space, I would rather see the 5 than the 3, is what I'm saying.
And I think we were just trying to figure out, we put 3 to 5 because once we start doing the construction drawings from because remember Pyatt Road's gonna get widened and everything, we wanted to make sure the drainage, and that's why we just put 3 to 5, but we'll try to get it as high as we can. And we also agreed to landscaping that would, screen at a rate of 1 every 12 feet as sort of like what you see over on Little Center Road now that they've grown in together and creating that sort of blocking cars and other things.
We went with the 3 to 5 so that we can at least maintain a proper slope. So we didn't want to say 5 and then have a slope that nothing grows on.
But the tree spacing is critical because that will eventually be a blocker.
You won't see.
You can still drive over a 3-foot mound, but it's hard to run over a big tree.
Try your hardest.
No, I'm not. I'm getting too old for this.
Stormwater.
Yeah, plenty of topsoil on that site.
Hey, going, just past 9, hey,
Yeah, she'll run it off.
just past 9 years, so
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about driving.
The first part is
We're dead.
conditional approval.
Can you believe it?
You can leave the conditional off.
Could we say that you could get that application for pending property owner's consent within 14 days?
Sure. Yeah. Unless Jeff, they're all on vacation, but I'll do it tomorrow. I'll get it.
Within 21, how about that?
Yeah,
We'll be lenient. Overhangs, ranks, and leaves. Homes shall be.
I would have.
Stormwater occupation, oh, this is,
Yeah, I'll just print it out.
mhm,
Jeff,
got
take
that.
care of that. I'll get that from him.
Stormwater
When he
occupation.
returns, he's in back from North Carolina. And then the other guy's working on the house, I stopped by real fix.
Items
We can get that done.
shall be of equal or greater value. Language added to 18E.
I just didn't remember to slip. I'll take full responsibility.
Things of design that included in the first process.
Well, then Jeff and I and the guy stopped by when he was fixing up his house. I really didn't remember.
Part 2B.
Everybody's crazy.
Lots of reform commit to adding 2 recreational purposes uses. Area.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, wait till you get mine, it'll come and go quicker. And it'll go whenever it wants to.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna print that off, and In the meantime, we're gonna accept some documents.
I want to make sure those are the documents that are dated October 16th at the bottom, all your documents.
Yep, October 16th, book 1 of 2, October 16th, book 2 of 2.
Yep.
Anything else for the, oh, wait, but I have the meeting minutes too. Were those included in your booklet? Did you have the meeting minutes included in the booklets? Those were included in here, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I didn't, that's why I had
Okay.
2 meetings. Yeah.
I'll add it, I'll just take it as part of book 1 and then call it out for meeting minutes being included in the book. Yeah. But we do need the proof of advertisement, which I don't see. Did you guys see the proof of advertisement?
Yeah. I didn't disagree with it.
Accept all the exhibits at some point.
Well, yeah,
I don't
and we should
have-
do that now.
Somebody have most of them?
Just these two.
These are 3,
You know, that's
exhibit
good
3,
stuff too, more of
says on them, at least mine does.
a man.
No, we haven't accepted any of these yet.
You know,
So these would
I've
be
got
exhibit 1.
I've got a question for the board.
Did you print off the proof of advertisement?
Lisa
Or does she have it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan.
Maybe versus, and Pat, when you brought up the landscaping and this buffer and, mound and everything, maybe it would be better to shorten these cul-de-sacs here and get rid of these 4. And have the recreation in the back away from the road.
No, I don't like that.
You know, like,
Because I like the proximity to the school and how it's gonna integrate here.
Yeah, this is kind of a different area.
okay.
I love it, I think it's good way.
Okay.
Let's not mask the good
Well, how do the other 2 feel?
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, Pat was the one who convinced me.
I know, it's just a thought.
I think
We could
we
do
need
it
this one out here.
Okay.
It's got the kids can see people playing and join in.
Because
So-
I like it in
No, it's
front of
okay.
the school.
So can I use that?
It was dumb. It wasn't dumb.
I'm just, we're slow.
No, come on, let me call it up.
But there's
I
still,
do appreciate
they're still
her.
pretty far away. I mean, that's
When I opened
130
that this afternoon, I was
foot
like,
before the first trees. Plus the mountain.
Oh, there's one road,
Mm.
because that road is gonna get really, really, really busy.
Okay, we're gonna accept as exhibit, 1, the move to accept as exhibit 1, the proof of advertisement on our social media, Facebook page, and our township website. Moved by the chair, seconded by trustee Bullard, discussion. Please call roll. Oh, we don't have anybody for this. I did this last time. You don't have to call. Let's call roll. Trustee Paycock,
Yes.
trustee Bullard,
Yes,
trustee Rail, yes. And move to accept as exhibit 2, both books 1 of 2 and 2 of 2 dated October 16th, 2025, with the BZC meeting minutes incorporated in book 1 of 2.
second.
Moved by the chairs.
This is all 3.
I know, but this is from BZC, it's not from us. We have not accepted any
Okay.
exhibits yet.
Okay, I got you.
With the latter exhibits taking precedence over the former friendly amendment. Seconded, moved by the chair, seconded by trustee Bullard, discussion. I will call now roll, trustee Bullard,
Yes,
trustee Paycock,
Yes.
trustee Rail, yes. So we have now accepted book 1 of 2 and 2 of 2, as well as the proof of advertisement. Is there anything else? No. And there's no other exhibits this time. Okay. Okay. Okay, move to amend the approved preliminary development plan for Ross Estates BZC case 19-007 with the following additional modifications at the applicant's request. The applicant will provide pending property owner's consent to the application modification for writing within 21 days. The applicant will provide overhangings and rakes in or eaves on homes which shall be a minimum of 8 inches. Stormwater occupation replacement items shall be equal or greater value. Language added to F18E. The maintenance of design standards will be the responsibility and included in the Evans Farms Master Homeowners Association update to F14A. Modification 14B to specify Evans Farms Master Homeowners Association applies to subsection C. Eliminate lots 1 through 4 and commit to adding 2 recreational uses intended for the area, including but not limited to the potential of a dog park. 1 use shall be youth sports related. And all of the additional items included herein for resolution number 25-11-19. So moved.
Vote for the second.
I said all the other items of the resolution included.
Okay. Second.
Moved by the chair, seconded by trustee Bowler. Discussion.
So we have, Dan, do you agree to that?
Yes.
If you agree to it, how about if you sign it?
Sure.
And that
Well,
becomes
he'll sign after we.
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that it's a signable.
Yeah,
Good point.
I don't think you need to do that, given that it's in a resolution form.
This is the resolution that we're putting in. What he's agreeing to is this section 1.
What he's requesting, yeah.
Okay.
And then
He doesn't need to sign anything, you're basically telling, even though he's consented to it, you're telling him this is now the zoning. So, he's agreed to it.
one point for discussion, I do agree with you that I think that you guys have gotten more familiar with our requirements, and I really appreciate your flexibility in working with us. I do think that this provides a different type of housing, different type of amenities, and these are the kinds of things, and I do appreciate your reduction of density as well.
Well, we appreciate the zoning commission and all the input that they gave us to do this, as well as our original major modification input that you guys gave us. And I think it's a better development plan than was previously sent. So.
Any other points for discussion?
I would like to say, I like the way you did the railroad tracks, because you've got access now, whereas at the one to the south, you don't have access, but that one's got access along the railroad tracks. Somebody wants to get back there and walk or do something, that sort of thing. And I like the path through to the school. That should help a lot with people being able to go from the development directly to the school. And it will see to it that the parking lot or the parking along the streets get full whenever they got something going on.
Yeah, thank you. As you guys know, we're looking forward also working with the parks and working on the parks now. So we're excited about it.
Okay, any further discussion? I will call roll now. Trustee Paycroft.
Yes.
Trustee Bowler.
Yes.
Trustee Rail. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
If you got one, you should sign.
We're getting advised that he doesn't have to sign because now that we have it in our review. Yeah.
Pick one copy and give it to me.
Thanks, Dan. Well, I see you at the
Thank
Parks
you.
and Trails meeting.
When is it?
I think it's the second Wednesday of December.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm back to. I've been out of town. I actually had to withdraw some time from the Chamber of
Oh,
Commerce.
you did?
Yeah, I got too much. I'm going over there because they asked me to.
Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it. Got a lot to do, and get back to the park plan. we're close to having it ready. I just think,
Yeah.
I was told the other day, I said,
I'd like to get
sorry.
Well, let's
Kids
talk a
play
little
with
bit
her.
about that. Thank you so much, appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because I think that we can
You're
do
looking
something in
good.
that area.
Good, thank you, appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks.
Yep.
Trustee Paycock, nice to see you again.
No, I can talk to them.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be in contact
Yeah,
about
oh,
first.
absolutely, absolutely.
You guys need me or?
Please.
All right.
Fill us through.
Yep.
No.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, I
Good seeing
appreciate
you.
it.
Yes, you.
Good to see you, Pete.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna close BZC case, close the hearing, BZC case 19-007 for Ross Estates. Do I have a second? No, I'll just close it and return to regular session. We don't have to vote to close the hearing.
No.
But I do wanna have a motion for adjournment.
Well, did we get the meeting scheduled, or, because I didn't think we did the future meeting stuff.
Yeah, we did,
January 2.
10 a.m.
Okay, because we got a Morrissey meeting in, December, I don't know, no, I don't know. December 11th.
Okay,
And
that's the same day as
December,
DCTA.
which is the DCTA meeting,
Yeah.
December 11th too.
Yeah, so which
I'll
one?
make it to both.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else for the good of the cause?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second, moved by trustee Buller, seconded by the chair, please call roll, I will do so.
Yes.
Trustee Pinkoff, trustee Buller,
Yes.
trustee Rail, yes. We are adjourned.